I hope that what we're going to do today is going to give you an idea of what crowdfunding is all about. 8 out of 10 people don't know what crowdfunding is about, essentially. And when you quiz those other 2 out of 10 that claim to know something about crowdfunding, the majority of them don't have an overall picture as to what crowdfunding is all about. So crowdfunding is something that is grabbing people's imagination. It's an old concept, by the way. It's not new. I mean, if you think of a church and the collection plate that goes around the church, that is essentially what crowdfunding is all about, is that you have lots of small amounts that at the end of the service makes up a large amount, and you can go off and do something more significant with that. And the reason that crowdfunding is taken off is because of the arrival of the internet. And the internet has now made it very easy for us to improve the flow of funds. It's a lot easier to ask people for funding and for them to actually participate in the funding process. And they don't have to be in the same space in order for that to take place. So crowdfunding has come out of another concept called crowdsourcing. And I don't want you to confuse the two, crowdsourcing and crowdfunding. Crowdsourcing is a term that was popularized by Wired magazine 2 or 3 years before crowdfunding became a popular term. And a lot of people who were doing crowdfunding and didn't know about crowdfunding, and they now fall within the crowdfunding space, as it were. So crowdfunding is a term that describes what I'm going to share with you today. There are lots of different types of crowdfunding. There's different ways that crowdfunding works, and I hope to share some of that with you today. So this session, we will have 4 sessions today. The first session here, I'll go over what we're going to do. We'll have a break, another session. It's been outlined in the material that you received. And I'm open to you asking me questions as you go along. So we may not stick 100% to that. So if one session overruns the next, then we will leave some of that for the next session, as it were. So if you have a look at crowdfunding itself, there are 4 main types of crowdfunding. I'll go over those. We'll have a look at some examples of various crowdfunding platforms that are out there. We'll have a look at some niche crowdfunding platforms and summarize at the end of that what the benefits of crowdfunding is all about, some of the downsides, just so that you're aware that there are several downsides to crowdfunding, and future trends.